So what I thought we could start with, since some of these are familiar people to you, is looking at some face shapes that you probably all recognize, right? Am I right here? Yeah. So we're going to look at shapes of people's faces first, and I'm going to show you what I'm looking at when I started drawing. So we know this guy. He's been in the news a lot. But today, and what a lot of cartoonists do, is exaggerate what they see when they look at him. So I'm going to look at this face shape, pretty long, square kind of jaw, always looks kind of stuffed into his shirt. And please know, I'm not being disrespectful to anybody. I'm being a cartoonist today, so I'm telling you what I'm going to exaggerate. Always looks like his neck is a little bit squeezed into his shirts. Little small mouth that I see. Eyes, very squinty eyes, tiny little nose, and this hair. Oh, this hair is awesome for a cartoonist. So to start with this gentleman that we all know as our commander-in-chief, I'm going to give, and I'm doing this in pencil first. A lot of times it's good to start in pencil, and then you can go back in with pen to get the lines that you want. But to sketch my shapes to start with, I'm going to go in with kind of a big, square, jowly face shape. And you can copy me here if you want, or you can just watch to start with. And the chin, yeah, there's always a double chin. So I'm going to stick that in. And partly it's because he's got his tie and everything tied against his face. So that hair, oh, I love that hair as a cartoonist. And I'm just going to kind of look at the shape of it, right? That I'm going to go in and do. So it's a comb over and it's big and it sometimes is blowing in the wind. So the comb over, few simple lines I'm going to show here with that top on the top of him, right? Pretty clean cut on the sides. It just goes down the edges. Ears, nothing real phenomenal about them. So we're just going to put some plain ears in. Those squinty eyes and always kind of a furrowed brow there. So those big eyebrows, they kind of stand out to me. And we've got some lines here. Simple lines to kind of show what I'm just picking those right out of what he's doing. And then very squinty eyes, right? Oh, those are eyes. Two tiny little slits that show me who that is. Little bit of bags under the eyes. He's spending long nights, short nights. And little small nose, like compared to the size of his face, pretty small nose. So I'm going to exaggerate that here, as we like to do with cartooning. Also, a fairly small mouth. And when he's talking or making a point, it gets even smaller. So I'm going to exaggerate that here. Make a tiny little mouth on that face. And I'm going to go ahead and put the lips in, maybe leave his teeth in, and then darken that on the inside. All right. And then a few little lines down. And like I told you, I'm going to exaggerate that he always has a coat and tie on, but this collar always looks a little binding, so he is just squeezed into that tiny little collar and shapes and, oh, everything like I'm just binding myself up drawing this. So anyway, you kind of get the idea, right? We've got a fun cartoon, and for the most part, you would know who that is, right? Now I could go ahead and color this in, or I can go in and add my ink lines. All right, let's go to a pretty beautiful face. Not much to exaggerate here. Very symmetrical face, known for her clear blue eyes. If I were going to color this in, I would do the same thing. Make those eyes really light ice blue, which is what Ellen is known for. But what can I exaggerate here? Well, she doesn't have a lot of hair. It's pretty close cropped. It's pretty tight. She has a fairly elongated face, a little bit of a pointed nose there, a really gummy, toothy smile. So as a cartoonist, I'm going to look at that and go, that's what I'm going to concentrate on. So I'm going to go in and kind of exaggerate the shape of her face here. She does have a longer, kind of a triangular face at the bottom. So I'm going to put that in. And then at the top here, I'm going to go in and just really quickly notate that hair is pretty short. It's pretty close cropped. All right. Same on the side. I'm going to go in and just make it pretty small, boyish. It's a boy cut, really, for all purposes. And because of that, it does accentuate her ears. So as a cartoonist, I'm going to go in and exaggerate that for her ears then. All right. And close set eyes, all right? They're a little closer than you would put on an anatomical drawing, so I'm going to exaggerate that. Also, they're big, beautiful eyes, and so I'm not going to do anything funky with her eyes, but I'm going to put them a little closer maybe than you would normally. And yes, she has beautiful eyelashes, so we'll go in and give her some of those. We'll do some fairly normal eyebrows. And now let's exaggerate that nose. Like I told you, it comes down and it's a little bit pointed at the bottom, at least in this picture. Not all pictures are flattering. So I'm going to exaggerate her nose like that. I'll go ahead and go in and put those clear eyes, maybe put the pupils in. This is not such a derogatory one. I'm going to darken them at the top, give them a little bit of color, and then that smile, great smile, very much teeth. We see a lot of teeth in her smile. So let's exaggerate that, all right? Goes clear up and her nose almost touches her lip. So I'm going to exaggerate that also, okay? So it comes up all the way this high, goes down. That's the shape I'm exaggerating in her mouth. And then, like I told you, lots of teeth I see in that smile. So I'm going to exaggerate that, okay? I'm going to make almost the whole thing teeth here for her. And maybe show that her gums also show on the top. So these are shapes that I'm just showing in here, all right? Same thing, usually always has a collar and a jacket on. So same, I'll go ahead and put that in. And if I were to color this in, it would help a little bit to give her those ice blue eyes, but you're seeing Ellen here, and that's a cartoon. Caricature version of it. All right, the flamboyant one, the piano player, great face, great expression. We love expression in cartooning. So I'm going to exaggerate all these things. Obviously, Elton John, known for his glasses, known for his hair. He's got those wispy bangs that come down in front. If I were coloring this in, I would make it kind of reddish since he's dyed it that way for a long time. A little bit of a rounded end nose. Look at the shape of his mouth. Awesome. I love that shape. He's also known for having a space in between his front teeth. So I'm going to exaggerate that. He's leaning back and being very theatrical in what he's doing, and he's playing the piano. So I'm going to exaggerate all those things, all right? So I'm looking at the shapes of the face. I'm going to exaggerate those glasses, of course, because they're awesome. Put maybe the space in his teeth. Make sure I have that shape of a mouth and a big singing head, all right? So let's go in and start with the hair. I'm going to just do the shape, and I'm looking at the shape of his hair, but I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit. So all I'm doing is shape of hair, right? To start with, I'm looking at that up there, and that's what I start with on the top of his head. Come down, and I'm giving him a high forehead. That's kind of why he wears his hair that way, is to cover a high forehead. Well, I'm going to exaggerate it in this cartoon. Okay, now those glasses, love them. Let's go in and make those bigger than life, okay? We love those glasses. And these come down a little bit on the side and then go in, come down on the side and go in. I'm just doing the tops, all right? And then his nose, he's got kind of a rounded end nose at the end. So I'm going to put those in and then finish the glasses out here. Okay, and I'm not going to put eyes in. I don't do that on myself either when I draw my glasses. I'm just going to leave the glasses. Okay, and then that mouth shape, I love it. So let's do that. Copying just the shape of his mouth, right? Oh, cool. Look at that awesome shape there. I'm just copying the shape and I'm exaggerating it. Now, I told you he's known for that gap in his front teeth, so I'm going to put that in and I'm going to exaggerate it. Put a little tongue in there where his mouth is. Maybe his teeth are showing at the bottom. I would color that in to kind of show that his mouth is open and you see that gap in between his teeth. And finish the shape of his face, which is elongated. See that long shape when he has his mouth open like that? So I'm going to elongate it even more. Go up. He's got a fairly normal size ear. I'm not going to exaggerate that, but he always has an earring in that side, so I'll put an earring in. And if I were to continue this on, he's usually playing the piano. So I might put him in front of a piano. I'm like trying to draw a grand piano from the side here. So that's kind of awkward, but if I put a piano in this way, I would make it teeny tiny in comparison to him. That's part of the fun of exaggeration. So, and, you know, who knows? He may have feathers on his, you know, the guy is known for wearing goofy stuff. So here he is playing the piano, and he's sitting down at this tiny little seat, and he's playing the piano. So, you get the point? All right. Get your mirror. Look at yourself. I don't know what you're seeing. I'm seeing myself. And let's grab a piece of paper and get started. This is you. This is me. Look at these faces. I want you to make the funniest faces in your picture. Now, let's start with shape. Look at the shape of my face. It's a long oval, all right? So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to exaggerate that. Long oval and a little bit of a chin down here at the bottom. All right? Now, the two big things that stand out for me is I'm going to look at the distance. Look, if I were to draw a circle around here and half my face, look at that. I have a 5 head, not a 4 head. I've got a big old forehead there. I'm going to exaggerate that. So I'm going to put most of my characteristics are going to go below the halfway mark of my face. My hair is like half of the top of that. Woo, big hair. All right. So if I draw a halfway line here across my face, I know that my glasses, the top of my glasses is going to start halfway down there. All right. Look at that big old forehead. And I'm going to put my glasses in way down there. All right. Now my nose is kind of like this. Looks like that. Long and kind of roundy at the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and put that in. And it's kind of a long diamond shape. All right. Now look at that smile. It's just a big, cheesy, toothy smile. So if I'm going to put that in, my nose almost touches my teeth at that angle. So I'm going to exaggerate that. Okay. Go up, come down. Put that shape in. Whoops, I'm not up high enough. There we go. Okay, so I've got those glasses in that are bigger than life and take a big part of my face. And here's where you just got to start laughing at yourself. What can you exaggerate about that face that you love every time you look in the mirror? That's what we're doing today. All right, and now my hair. Big hair. It's always falling around, falling down. So I'm going to put that in, and then that foofly bun on top. All right. And then my eyebrows, I'm going to put way up high to show that surprise look. All right. And ears you can't really see. And then skinny little neck down there. And I've got pretty big smile line creases on the side. All right. So can we start? I cannot wait to see some of your cartoons. Let's go to the next one. Okay, now I tilted my face up a little more. See how this side I'm about halfway from the top of my hair to the bottom of my chin. This time, well, still there. I haven't got rid of that 5 head. It's still there. But I'm going to have a lot more in expression in my forehead. Sad face, everything's pointing down. Eyes are down. Forehead wrinkles are down. Like you can see sadness even in this without me putting a face around it. So remember, the lines are going to go down, down, down if you're making a face like that. So I'm going to have the same kind of shape of face, but maybe it's even longer. You know how people say they were long in the face? Well, maybe you make a sad face even longer while you're doing it. All right. Those glasses are still about the same place. So I'm going to put them halfway down my face. They're a little more square than I made them the first time. So I'm going to fix that up this time. And go ahead and put those glasses in. And I wonder what you're drawing about now. It makes my nose even longer when I do that. So it comes way down here. Oh, long face. Let's put that in. Exaggerate whatever changes on your face when you do this. And then frowny face at the bottom. Big lip. Lines going down from the side of my nose. And my eye. I'm not going to put my eyes in because I never put my eyes in on my cartoons. I just leave the glasses. But if you were doing eyes, you might want to put sad eyes in like that. And couple creases here, and I'm gonna have eyebrows that go down, and all of those wrinkle lines. Oh yeah, love those. And back in goes the hair, and I'm just doing lines, really messy lines for wherever that hair is gonna be. And really, it's just the shape of it, right? Okay, there's long face, long, sad, everything's pointed down. Now, crazy face. That is, look at the shapes here. I tried to make like one eyebrow's going up, one eyebrow's going down. Nose is kind of the same, but look at the shape of the mouth. That's another shape. So you can do that shape. If you were drawing eyes, one of them would be a little bit closed, one of them would be big and open. Like that. And so you're drawing shapes again. I want you to look at shapes. Obviously, our head stays the same, but we're wanting to exaggerate what is on top of that. Okay, so I'm going to go back and draw that face. And look, my shape of my face has kind of changed here. It almost looks like this now. It's kind of skewed out because we have such funky skeletons that we can do that. Look at that. My chin's clear over to the side. So when you do that, move the shape of your face. Make it exaggerated, how it goes out. And my nose stays in the same place. My eyes, glasses, all of that still at that halfway mark, going down, comes up. Big glasses. Maybe I'm going to make him even bigger this time. Like that's the fun thing about cartooning is it's just exaggerating things. So I'm going to make these glasses even bigger. All right. And there's that long nose again that just pokes out of the bottom. And then I'm going to do the shape of my face. I mean, the shape of my mouth. And it's kind of got weird shape, right? And this is a big crinkle over on that side. Not so much over here. And this time I see a little more, like this time I see a little bit of a widow's peak. So I'm going to add that shape to my hair. And maybe I'll just do the outline of my hair this time. Okay, you don't have to always put it in there. And funky bun up at the top. And I always have stray hairs coming down, so I would put those on the sides. And I might put my neck out this way this time. So I've got face going one way, this going the other way. And this is where I was going to do those eyebrows, one going down and one going up. And look at the expression that you get with that. So fun. You guys are doing awesome. I cannot wait to see what your cartoons look like. So remember what we had here. We looked at the face shapes. We went in and we exaggerated what we saw. That big hair here, just make it bigger. And this is a fun exercise to do. Go online or get a magazine or a newspaper and find some recognizable people and look and see, what can I exaggerate about them? Obviously, some of these are easier to do. And like I said, beautiful people are hard to cartoon because everything's symmetrical. But if you can go in and find something you can exaggerate and elongate and make it even bigger or funnier than it was before, then that's awesome. So you've seen me do this before, but my general, I always start with my glasses, like because I know that is a defining thing of mine. Hopefully you can see this. I start with my glasses, and this is just kind of my signature cartoon of myself, right? Because I've looked at this face for too many years of my life, I know exactly what it looks like. The only thing that really changes is maybe my glasses now and then. So I put those in to start with, and then I pretty much know that this is what my nose looks like at the bottom of my glasses. My mouth is fairly small for the size of my face, so I exaggerate that. I have pretty pronounced lines on the side of my face, and my face shape is kind of ovally round. I exaggerate this here, and put an ear in. Obviously, like I said, I got a big old forehead, so I exaggerate that. I go in and add, this isn't a very good pen for this, so I'm going to switch to a darker one. My pen's kind of running out. So I go in and add some big hair here, but again, it's just the shape of it. And I started too big for my little screen. And then that messy bun at the top. And I always have hair that's hanging down everywhere. So that's what I put in. I'm going to fix that chin just a little bit. Put those glasses in. And if I started this a little big, I might even exaggerate my glasses even more. And I'll show you that on another one. But you all who know me would know this pretty much looks like me. So I leave those, leave the glasses. I never put the glasses in. I mean, I never put my eyes in. Now, another thing I could do is make those glasses the biggest part of my face, like bigger than my face, which if you wear glasses is kind of a fun thing to do also. Like I would make my face even smaller than the glasses with the big hair. And then you see the same thing. Like you've seen exaggeration, but my glasses became the defining thing to what I am. And that's kind of a fun thing to exaggerate. So again, you just play with shapes and size and what you are going to make fun of. Like really, just look at yourself and think, what can I laugh at today? Huh? This is, if it's not funny, then I don't know what it is. And if you can't laugh at yourself, you're in big trouble, right? This is something that's just a fun exercise to do. And it also teaches you how to look at shapes, which I've been talking about incessantly when I talk to people in my classes. Look at shapes, look at shapes, look at shapes. I want you to see, just be able to go and look at a human form or look at somebody or look at an animal. Again, if we were like, I'll just do this quick because they're same kind of thing. But if I were going to exaggerate an animal, say a horse, I'm going to make their nose and maybe their jawline the biggest thing of all, right? I'm going to exaggerate what they look like. And again, this is just looking at shapes, like the general shape of something. And you don't necessarily need to have all of the details in it, but we're just looking at what the shapes of things are. So look at some animals, look at things around you and try to exaggerate.